Welcome back to RadioOnFire.com. Diamond K in here alongside my father. How you doing, Dad?
Good.
My mother is producing the show. Mom, how you doing?
Great.
I don't know how good it's gonna go today because there's so much going on, and like many people in the world, in the city, we have different viewpoints on these same subjects. I mean, you have impeachment attempts going on now. We have a unfortunate vacancy in the 7th Congressional District. Needs to be filled. Mayor's race. There's that.
Yeah.
And my pet peeve, which is trash in the city. You have that. And hopefully we'll be able to talk about all these things before our time is up. Where do you want to start, Dad?
Wherever you say.
All right. So in that instance, let's go with impeachment. Okay. This is a historic thing. You guys remember when this was Nixon in this seat?
Right.
Clearly you remember?
Yes.
And I, of course, don't remember that, but I have studied it extensively, so I feel like I was alive and able to count. I was alive, but I couldn't count.
You were just barely alive.
Right. I remember Clinton clearly.
Yeah.
And when you rank what Trump is, and let's understand this, all three instances, self-inflicted situations. Self-inflicted. They did this. It's not like somebody did this to them. You know what I mean?
He did it.
That's what I'm saying. Self-inflicted. Similarly to the trouble you have with your phone. Self-inflicted. But what's gonna come of this? That if you get
I think that the Democrats got a heavy load. They got a heavy load because I listened to it today, and the Republicans were more convincing than they were, and that's only because they're playing hardball, and the Democrats are playing softball. They're being nice, and it's gonna be tough.
I think, Mom, what do you think? Do you think nothing? You had no thoughts on this? Or you don't think nothing's going to come out of it?
I don't think anything's going to come out of it at this point. It looks as if the Republicans are succeeding in making it seem complicated. They're making it seem as if it's really no big deal, that the president has a right to do all of these things, and they are muddying the waters so that I think people are just getting tired. It's like, okay, whatever. I'm just over it.
Yes. I agree. And at the same time, the argument to be made, it doesn't have to be this complicated. I think that there is a check of power, but I don't necessarily know if this is the impeachable thing, the irrefutable thing. It's not. At the end of the day, if the money was still being withheld, the aid was still forthcoming, I think that you might have a leg to stand on. But if someone is attempting to break in a house, so you think, they see the police come, they leave, they run away, right? We still can't, for months and months, be talking about them breaking in this house because technically they didn't break in the house. They almost broke in the house. Maybe if you had waited a little bit longer, they would have broken in the house and you could have caught them in the house. But we're talking about aid being withheld that was given to them late, per an investigation starting that was not started. You know what I mean? It's at the end of the day, nothing's going to come of this but a bunch of foolishness, a waste of time, arguing back and forth, and then we're going to zoom right into the election. That's what I think. So it seems like he got away with it again, right?
Yep, he gonna get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
But I disagree with you that attempted murder is still a crime. They were attempting to do a crime, and the
Wait, slow down. What's the crime?
he was saying to President that he wanted him to investigate the man that he might have considered his chief rival.
But what's the crime?
Okay. If
Talking loudly. What's the crime?
When you asked a foreign government to interfere with the American elections, is what he was saying.
So you say, I know, but what's you saying? It's treason?
Yes, that's how. I mean,
But say it. Say the crime. Like you said, no crime, so it's treason.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely. And he, he being President Trump, did not want to give him weapons anyway to fight against his friend Putin. I mean, he wants Ukraine to collapse anyway and get back under the control of Russia. They want to get right down to it anyway.
That's hearsay.
Yes.
How do we know?
Yeah, because Putin is his dictator lover. He loves him.
Dictator lover.
Yes, that's who he loves. He wants to be like Putin, and so he did. I mean, this is horrendous what he did.
All
horrendous.
Right. So
and here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the real thing that the American people need to know about Donald Trump. Just like he made up President Obama was born in Kenya, just like he made up Hillary and those 33,000 emails, he made up Biden and his son of corrupt. He give him a little inch and he'll just exploit it. That's what he does. And he can run with it, and he's a good salesman. No question he can sell. So he's just a bullshitter. Yes, I said it.
He's a BS salesman.
Yeah.
Who can sell.
Professional.
All right, so real quick. Definition of treason: the offense of attempting to overthrow the government of one's country or of assisting its enemies in war specifically.
Yep.
Also, the act of levying war against the United States or giving aid and comfort to its enemies by one who owes its allegiance.
Okay.
So that does not fall under that.
It does. He has given his allegiance to Putin, to Russia.
We're talking about Ukraine. We have to talk about Ukraine.
All of it is combined. Ukraine is fighting a war right now with Russia to survive. Russia has invaded their country, and they, United States, those weapons were for what? To help to defend them, to fight off the Russians.
So you're saying that he wanted to just stop the aid of them fighting against the Russians.
I say that he's a Russian. I'm saying that the president is a Russian aide anyway. So this has been a coup anyway in this country. He took over.
So treason. I think that if treason is what you would try to levy against him, I just don't know if this is an example of that treason. Yeah. I think that we've had other examples, but I don't think that this is the one.
Well, they tried to do it with the Mueller investigation.
Now that,
but all of it's all together. It's all in the same. I mean, Putin. Everywhere you turn, it's Putin. It's all in the same. It's the same game.
Now, I mean, to me, you possibly, and Mom, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that this may possibly fall under the definition of extortion, which is the practice of obtaining something, especially money, through force or threats. Maybe, but then still, it's just kind of like I don't know, because it's like.
Well, here's the point.
It's corrupt, definitely.
Well, here's the point.
But is that a crime?
Here's the point. If we got a guy in the White House supposed to be the leader of the free world, the person that we got 320 million people in America are supposed to look up to and want to be like, is this the person that we want to be in office? Is this the best we got? This is what we're saying. He's the best man in America to lead us. He needs to be gone. Whether you call it treason, whether you call it reason, whether you call it treason, you know what I mean? He needs to be gone.
But will he?
No.
Will
I
he?
think so.
So they're going to be roughly 15 people that are going to participate in this public hearing. And they're going to send this to the Senate. The Senate going to pick up the case.
15 people. What?
50. They're going to be 15 people that's going to participate in this public testimony. They're going to be more. There's not.
Yeah. Give me into next week.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So at the end of the day, the Senate is not going to co-sign this.
No.
And that's going to be that. That's what you're saying?
Well, the reason that the Democrats had to go ahead and do this, if you think that this man is not qualified to be in office, and you are a part of the 535 Congress people,
right?
You've got a duty. It's your responsibility. They sent you here to protect America, so you got to do what you can. Okay, I did my. At least the Congress could say we did our part, and the Senate is going to do whatever they do. We've got an election coming up. Then you American people have to make the right call.
So that's the answer to people that say, I don't know why they're going through this exercise when the Senate is not going to impeach him. So that's what you have to say. That and I think that's right.
Yeah.
You do. Because they have an obligation themselves.
Because the bottom line, this is for the people. Who does this belong to?
The people.
The people.
For the people, by the people.
Right.
For the people and by the people.
We put those 535 in office, and we put that guy in office. And like your mother used to tell you, I brought you here, and I'll take you out.
Yes, that's true. She has said that. All right, so I agree with that. Moving on to some local politics. Everything's local. All politics are local. It starts from the local level.
That's a cliche that they.
It is a cliche that's true.
Right.
It's a cliche that's true. Like absence make the hearts grow fonder. I don't think that's necessarily true.
Oh yeah. They keep me away from your mother too long. Oh yeah.
It depends because my first girlfriend said that when she went away to school.
You wasn't really into it like
No,
that.
I was. So she said absence makes the heart grow fonder, and I said
forgot about
no. Out of sight, out of mind. Right. But anyway, shout out to her. And it brings us to Baltimore.
Baltimore.
So
Maryland.
here in Baltimore,
I
want to speak specifically on
not the rats.
Okay, fine. Let's go there. All right.
The president said
okay.
We got full of rats around here.
So I simply, and this predates this whole rat infested foolishness. When I was growing up, we had DOS trash days. 2 Wednesday, Saturday, right?
Yes, sir.
The city was cleaner, right? There are some things there's some things that we need to pay for to make happen. And trash removal is one of the key things that makes a civilized society. When you talk about Rome and places like that, they smelled horribly because there was not an organized removal of trash. All right? This is one of the pillars of society. School, trash removal, a water system,
snow removal.
Yeah, because
you hear that, Detroit?
Yeah, during Rome times, just make sure I want to know this. People just threw trash out the window. They just threw the stuff out the window. Okay?
I didn't know that.
Yes, okay. We are moving back to ancient times, okay? You're driving down the street, people just throw stuff out the window.
They've been doing that.
I know, but now we only have one trash day. So now the stuff just collects. And sometimes you go in neighborhoods and there's just piles of trash. No one lives there. And people just, because they're not trash removals, people seek out areas to dump trash because there's nobody picking up the trash fast enough. Then they'll say, oh, you didn't have the right colored trash can and the lid. We ain't picking that up.
So the president was right then. You do got a lot of rats around here then. Is that what you're saying? I'm
saying that no, the president was not right. Okay, if Baltimore's rat infested, then what do you call New York City? Because what's worse than that? Right, it got to be something worse than that. Okay, we don't have the worst rat problem, but one big thing is if we could have more trash removal,
it costs money.
Things would be better.
It costs money, so you got to talk to your city council.
Hit the OK button. Okay, but so why is it that they can find money for everything, but we talk about trash removal, you act like what? Whoa, trash removal? Which it's good. Yeah, okay, yep, it's fine.
I mean, that's so low down on the totem pole.
How is that low on the totem
I'm
pole?
just saying, people don't. They
don't care.
That's somebody else's job. So
With grime comes crime, so it's not low.
That's true. That's true.
Say it again.
With grime comes crime.
Right.
Because when it's this old dirty spot over there, that's where you go to do your dirt.
But listen, what you're not understanding, the people who are in charge, they don't have a lot of trash in their neighborhoods.
Right.
Is no one throwing it down?
Not in their neighborhood. They doing it in your neighborhood. And so poor people,
Are we doing it in our neighborhood?
People are more prone to do it when they see trash already there.
That's right.
And if you, of course, I've talked about this a lot. I grew up in Baltimore Hilton area. Now you remember the alley behind our house, right? This is gonna sound crazy, but kids would play back there. They would ride bikes back there. You can't get up that alley now because it is filled with trash.
Well, you used to play basketball, like you mean?
Yes.
In the alley?
Yes.
Playing hoops?
Yes. Wow. And there's a lot of neighborhoods like our old neighborhood.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not in that neighborhood, so I don't see it. And so out of sight, out of mind. And so, and the people who are there.
No. Distance make the heart grow fonder.
And the people that are there, they're so used to it. They it's where it's been to them for the last 10, 15 years. And so that's what happens. So I didn't. I have to go down. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's bad, and I'm just saying there are many neighborhoods that are much worse than that with regards to trash. Mm-hmm. Because if you have an abandoned building or something like that, it becomes that. And I think that, but you're right. Many of the mayors and elected officials are not touched by that, or people have so many things in the hierarchy, like the murder rate or things like that, and something seemingly simple like trash removal falls by the wayside. But I think that it's significant.
Why would we think that because trash is out there that I'm used to it or that I like it? And if these politicians lived in the communities, so we have someone a Republican who's running for the 7th Congressional District, who says, if I win, I'll move there. They don't live where we live. If you live there, then you will care about it. And so those people that live there, because they have crime, it doesn't mean they don't want to live in a clean neighborhood. Because they're concerned about paying for the water and the rent, they still want to live in a clean neighborhood.
Let me tell you something.
Give me back my 2 trash days, please.
Yeah, I'll give it back to you.
We agree on that.
Pick up trash.
If y'all want me to run for mayor, flood Radio on Fire. I'll run.
Are you going to give me 2 trash days?
I'm going to give you 2 trash days.
Run for mayor?
Yeah. You said
it's possible.
But here's the thing. That it costs money, so they, you gotta. You said that they had 2 trash days. It had Wednesday.
We had 2 trash days.
Right, we had 2 trash days, Wednesdays and Saturdays. And now I guess you only have Wednesday.
Yeah, we just have one day.
Right, and Saturday.
And I'm saying that politicians. I talked to T.J. Smith last week. I mentioned it to him, and
T.J. Smith is running for mayor.
And he's running for mayor,
Okay.
and he's in Baltimore City, and he said that it's a budgeting issue, and so, something we could talk. And he gave a response that a lot of people are going to give, but if you continue to push back on it, they're going to say that's a budget issue, and they're going to make excuses as to why it can't happen instead of finding ways to make it happen. So when we talk about the outdated and exposed, vulnerable computer system that we have here in Baltimore still, and it was compromised because they did not want to spend the money to support the fortification of it. and they made excuses about why they didn't want to do it, why it was outdated. And as long as you continue to make excuses, but we're gonna spend money, they're gonna all get raises.
And if you give places like the Ritz-Carlton a water bill,
yes,
we will have some money. They haven't paid a water bill in how many years?
Over 10
since they've been there.
So they've been asking, can you give me a water bill over here? No water bill. So if you do these things,
are you saying that the Ritz-Carlton knocked on their door? We haven't gotten a water bill.
The people there indicate that they've been asking, why do we not have a water bill for 10
Right.
years? While the poor were put out of their homes for not paying a water bill. You didn't even give these rich people a water bill.
But that's what I'm saying. So when you start talking about money, right? But they will make it. There's a case.
But here, let me interrupt you for a minute, though.
Sure.
This gets right back to what we talked about last week, I think, about self-pride and love of self. Because now you said that in the neighborhoods they haven't. It's trash all in the alleys that they used to play basketball at.
Right.
And I said that people get used to that and they just accepted it. And because if they didn't accept it, they could do something about it.
No, they no. I mean, let's keep in mind that somebody just got shot, somebody just got killed. So in the hierarchy of things, it's one of the things that we have a problem with. But then some things supersede that.
There's a lot of illegal dumping.
Absolutely.
So people bring trash to this neighborhood
To
and just dump it because they're building things. They don't want to pay to dump their trash, so they bring all the refuge and the stuff that they've got from this nice little building they just dump it right here in our neighborhoods. There's a multitude of reasons.
You keep saying our neighborhood. Okay, black neighborhood. You mean I haven't seen all this trash in my neighborhood, but okay.
But it's there.
Yeah. Okay.
It's there, and we drive through the city all the time. Mm-hmm. But that takes us a little bit further.
But can I just hit on
Sure.
Here's the crust of it all. I remember when we lived in the neighborhood that you're talking about, and when we would go out and we would plant flowers and sweep up and clean up, other people in the neighborhood would look and then they would start cleaning up and sweeping up. I'm saying that you have to have enough pride and love for yourself to do these things ourselves too. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Clean up. You know what I mean?
Yes. And and absolutely right. And I think that if that mentality sparked, it would make people push our elected officials harder, because once we start sweeping up, now where we putting all this trash that we just cleaned up, then we need y'all to take it to the landfill.
And I tell you that the city will respond quicker.
I disagree with that. First, I'm saying right now, if the three of us decide, we can't wait for the city, we're going to formulate the trash removal system, and we get people on board, the city would be fighting us tooth and nail about, if we can say, look, we ain't gonna wait for them, we're gonna figure out where trash is supposed to go, what landfill, get trucks, get people involved, motivate people, give people jobs. Let's say we employ some of the squeegee kids and other people. I'm just saying, we just figure it out, right?
If we did that,
now we're talking through this.
Hold on. If we did that, people in Detroit, people in Chicago, in Washington, D.C. will be calling us, asking us, how did you get this started? We want to work with you. We want to learn your... Yes. Yeah.
Baltimore City would not fight us on that.
You will get the kind of response that you need.
The response from the city?
Who? City. I said the city would fight us on that.
Have you ever organized the cleanup and asked them to come with a truck? All the excuses that they give you, how long in advance you have to do. You're asking for bags to pick up. You can pick up the trash and set it on the corner for them to come get it, and it'll rain on it, it'll snow on it, it'll do all this stuff, and it'll be trash all over the neighborhood again before you get them to pick it up.
If we did it like your son just said, they'll be calling us all over the country trying to replicate what we're doing. Because he just said, we get together, motivate people, we have the trash removal, we go get the trucks and we dump it. Yeah, please. That would be great.
We pay taxes to have a city pick up the trash. So if we've organized cleanups, and I've organized cleanups.
Yes, you have several times.
And so I know what this process is, and talking with the city is a whole web of confusion in itself to get them to schedule one day to come out and pick up the trash. And you have to make sure that it's exactly in this right spot right here, because if it's not, we're not going to walk 2 more steps to pick it up. Bags, we need lots of it. It's a cumbersome process.
But let's be for real. Dealing with city government or state government, you know how it is going to get your license. I mean, these are the people you're dealing with. So
that's
bureaucracy.
the problem.
Bureaucracy.
That's the problem.
You know,
But that gets in that bureaucracy gets in the way of true
getting things done.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
getting
it
things
does.
done.
It does.
That's
And-
why
Yeah.
I'm saying that the thing to do is what you just said, D, is that we've got to get people motivated to do some of these things themselves, and then that will motivate those people also.
But I'm saying that it would be a fight. The city would fight us doing it.
And the people would rally. If they would fight us, the people in the city would rally behind us and support us. You know that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Against the city.
Well, I saw an interesting feature on TV. What's his name? Burnett? Is that the 8th district?
Yes.
So the people in his district cleaning up, trying to get the city to pick up. They can't get it done. They have to call their councilman. And what does he say? They're so backlogged. If I call, I can jump in front of the line and get it picked up for that person. But it's still that bigger process. Why doesn't the city do their job? It shouldn't be this backlog. Do your job. And when I call in the 311, come out here and pick up this trash that I'm telling you. Put these cameras out here so we can see who's doing the dumping. Do your job.
But they're gonna say, we don't have money to do our job. But y'all get overtime. But what are you doing?
They find money if we want a new stadium. Some money will come. We will give them tax breaks.
Right.
If they when they wanted to do the harbor, they found money for it. They find money.
And what they're doing to the harbor now, or Harbor East?
Yeah, now it's money. So I submit that money that they use downtown needs to come uptown to our neighborhoods. But that's the problem. That's the problem. So we can't throw all the problem back on the people. That's the problem.
And
nothing changes.
That brings us. Let's talk about some of these elected officials. Mayor's race, or we want to talk. Let's talk 7th Congressional District, since that is something that's more pressing. The election for that special election is going to be February 4th, and that's going to be here before you know it. The deadline for people to get involved and have their name added is November the 20th, which is a week from right now. Right? So people are confused about it, but it's very simple. There are 2 elections, and it's very simple. Now, I'm going to break it down really simply.
And this is taking Congressman...
this is taking Congressman, the late Elijah Cummings' seat. So, 2 elections. One is going to be a special election on February 4th. That will determine who is going to serve the remainder of his term. So they're going to serve from then until January 2021. Right? Now, the election that was already scheduled, which is for here, April 28th, people are going to make a decision on who's going to be in that seat after that and going forward for the next term. Right? So there are 2 elections that are coming up. So we had this race that is taking shape, that is seemingly getting very interesting. You have speculation as to whether or not the widow, Maya Rockmore Cummings, was going to run. She is running. And then you have his dear friend, per him, and the person who stepped down to get another gig and coming full circle, coming back. Kwesi Nkrumah, right? You also have Branch, who is running, and you have a host of others who are considering. We might as well throw Jill Carter into this because she has a social media page saying that vote for her, and she's going to be making an announcement next week before the 20th. Obviously, if she's trying to get involved, which she is. So Now it's going to get messy. There are other people that are rumored to be looking at running in the 7th Congressional District. You have a gang of Republicans, some with different levels of notoriety. And my question is, who deserves this seat? Who should get this seat? This is an important seat. This ain't just no any old seat. This ain't a whoopee cushion seat. This is a real seat, right? So Republicans would love to have this seat. They would do what they do many times here. Nothing. You know what I mean? If they could get a Republican elected. But a Democrat more than likely will be elected. But who?
Is that a foregone conclusion now that the district is drawn? The lines are quite different. It's not the old Perrin J. Mitchell 7th Congressional District.
Yep.
It's the lines that Cummings has gotten over the last. He's gotten Howard County and Baltimore County, Baltimore City.
All right, so let's talk. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So the area encompasses a little bit over half of Baltimore City. Okay, sections of Baltimore County and the majority of Howard County. Population radius is vast, but that is right. It's not the traditional thing, but I think that this is going to be something that is won by the Democrat. This particular thing, because a Republican is going to be speaking in a way that is not receptive to Baltimore City, sections of Baltimore County, and Howard County.
Well,
not the ones that I've seen.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be a tough race, and
it is going to be tough.
It's going to be, and then the Republicans, for the first time, since I've been here over 40 years. They got a chance to get in here.
You always got a chance.
Yeah, well, a better chance than
ever before.
Yeah, because of the guy in the White House, because they can talk differently now, and say that we can get help. We can do the Democrats had this for 40 years, and look what they've done. Nothing. I can get to the White House. I can get Trump. He's already knows we got a lot of rats around here, so we can get help in here. So they got talking points that they haven't had before that they can use, and so it's gonna be interesting. It's not a foregone conclusion that a Democrat's gonna get it. No.
I think it is, because first of all, the tide has turned. You have Trump giving his cosign to people in Kentucky that lost, right? And this is not what you're talking about is a Republican hopeful throwing out Donald Trump's name in hopes of getting a job, right? Donald Trump went to the place and said, "Hey, why don't y'all do me a favor? Hire this guy." And they was like, "Nah, we good." Okay, so if Trump goes and says, "Hey, if this guy doesn't get elected, it's gonna make me look bad. Don't do it," and they say, "Nah, we ain't hiring him."
Yeah, but he just barely. Has he given the seat up yet?
He's not conceded. No.
Yeah.
Means nothing.
Yeah.
Means nothing. I mean, he got his feelings hurt, right? But nobody liked him anyway. Okay. Now you may say this is a.
Why do they say that when the race when he got hundreds of thousands of people to vote for him, nobody liked him anyway? Why do they say that?
Because when you have a situation that's like
when they said about Hillary, nobody liked Hillary. Hillary got more votes than anybody in American history.
No, people do say that, right?
Nobody liked Hillary.
Yeah,
obviously somebody liked.
No, that's not true. They vote. We talked off camera. Ma said she gonna hold her nose and vote for somebody, right? She don't like them, but she may vote for that person, right? So people do things, and that doesn't. It's not contingent on what my reasoning is for doing it. You know what I mean?
But
I can shake your hand and not like you.
Well, under that circumstances, I like you better than the alternative. If I want to hold my nose and vote for you, okay. I like you better than the alternative.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But in Kentucky, it should never even be close.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You should have never even been in a position to lose.
I'm just saying that it's going to get.
So if Trump can't wrap his arm around somebody and get Kentuckians to vote for him, and Mitch McConnell got trouble too, just so you know.
Yes, sir.
Time is changing, but it's changing the other way. It's not changing the way that you're talking about. It's changing the other way. Trump's effect is not, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I don't even think that Trump can dictate what they have for dinner in the house. The wife might say, look, I know Trump wants this, but I want you to make that. It's almost over. This Trump stuff is almost over.
Well, then
by November, the election is when it's going to be over.
Oh, okay.
Not by
the impeachment.
Yeah, no, the impeachment ain't. No, it's not going to be no impeachment. Now, now we'll say this: if a stronger candidate does not get in, then maybe he'll make it. But I'm holding out for a stronger candidate. I ain't talking about Michael Bloomberg, somebody else. I'm holding out for somebody else. Somebody good.
Like Hillary?
Yeah, like Hillary.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd say it, but yes. Okay. Yes, like Hillary. So I want to go back for a minute. And I want to talk about this. So in my opinion, you have a widow. Somebody, you can't speak negatively about a widow to me, right?
Right.
A widow is one of those things. A widow is like a gold star family. A widow is untouchable. You can't say anything negative about a widow, right? Even if you think that the widow did something that is less than favorable. Even if you think that the widow is lying. Even if you think that the widow is playing the widow card when she was going to play another card. I don't think especially if you are a friend of her husband, you can't speak negatively about it because it makes you look crazy.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're going to speak negatively about her.
Calling somebody a liar directly or indirectly is speaking negatively to me. Mm-hmm. Mom, say some of this stuff that you said earlier. Because mom has a total different view on this than me.
I don't believe that anyone is guaranteed this seat. I don't believe you widow your way into a seat.
Okay. I agree.
So I have sympathy that she has lost her spouse, but given the way that she's already handled the negotiation, the discussion, the politics.
You make it seem like a transaction, Mom.
Because that's what you're telling me that I need to say she's the widow.
Yeah,
that's her seat. If she
I didn't say that.
It.
I didn't say that that's her seat. She got to fight for it. But okay, if I'm trying to think if we can, I want to use an example, and I don't like to use myself in these type of examples. So let's just, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I can't give me a person that we could use as an example.
While you're thinking about it, I think she has these health challenges now.
Okay, fine.
I think we will be better served if she would
slow down, Mom.
Health challenges now.
Easy. So you're making the case for who? You're making the case for Joe Carter? You're making the case for Branch? Who are you making the case for? Because Kwesi is 71, right? 71, all right? So you want to say he's too old, right? Even though he was his friend.
He's younger than the president.
Okay, well, that's true. Well, you got a point there.
He's younger than Biden.
Age ain't nothing but a number. Why is R. Kelly in jail? Age ain't nothing but a number, okay? It's not how old you are, it's how old you feel.
That's right.
Now, I was at the announcement for Kwesi Mfume, and I'm not going to say that he was jumping up and down. He did seem
71.
He seemed 71. He didn't have his glasses on his nose like Ben Franklin. You know what I mean? But he did not seem out like Joe Biden. He didn't seem like Joe Biden. He seemed like he can do the job. I mean, let's. I mean,
what about Bernie
Mitch
Sanders?
McConnell. How old? I mean, he ain't seem old like Mitch McConnell, right? He's from Baltimore.
But
so
his age, the only thing we're
young.
talking about here, and the fact that you did this job before.
Yes.
fine, you've done the job before, but how qualified or ready are you to deal with the 7th District today? So he comes in with his seniority.
Come on,
he gets
y'all.
that
Let's
back.
not. Y'all
But
act like these people are
did his
doing
press
real work.
conference
Like,
show that he was ready to take the job today.
you do understand that that's what he said.
He said
His
he
main
ready today.
thing was his main selling point. I'm ready to do the job on day one.
Day one.
Because I know half the people there. I've already been here. That's his. If you don't give him that, he has no selling point. That's all he got.
Well, he did it before. How many years ago? I'm saying this is a different day. I don't know that
96,
that
sir?
automatically makes him a shoo-in any more than it automatically
It does
makes
not.
her a shoo-in.
It does
because
not
she's
make
the
him
widow.
right. So let's look at him. Okay, his case would be to appeal to moderates and an older demographic. In a special election, here's what works in his favor. In a special election, you're gonna have older people coming out. The young people are not coming out in a special election in droves. They're gonna come out maybe in April, maybe in November. February 4th, maybe not, right? So the more established, more known candidate is at an advantage because they know him and they're older also. True?
Yes, sir.
Now, but you got a wild card because Maya is the widow.
Right.
So a lot of them may have lost a loved one and they may empathize with her widowedness.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
Her widowedness.
Talk to me.
That has to be not a word, right? But empathize with her loss. Now, you, mom, had a problem with this. I don't. This is sales. Politics is selling. Okay, so Maya having the surgery when she chooses to have it, is that selling? I think that she needs to get it out the way. She's getting ready to go into election season, and after this election is another campaign. So she gotta get it done now. When's she gonna get it done?
And
You gotta get it
You
done.
need to tell people what you're talking about. 'Cause you said surgery.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So
surgery
she is
done.
having what do you call the double? What's the word?
Mastectomy.
Okay, she's having double. She has cancer in her family. Her mom passed from that. Her sister has stage 2. Breast cancer affected our family, so we know the seriousness of it.
We just lost someone who was a representative, her husband, for
Not
health
the breast
challenges.
cancer.
But do we need someone else right now who has these serious health challenges that we know about?
You sound like a strategist for Infume.
I'm just saying. But also,
That's a good point.
and let's
So you're gonna use her health against her.
How the conversation is going now. So she says that my husband anointed me. My husband said, I want you to succeed me.
She did say that.
Okay.
On the Rachel Maddow
But
show
then,
and others.
of course, the others who say they know her husband well and spoke with him about these issues, they said, oh, no. He never said anything like that.
And you know what she said about that? Them niggas lying.
Okay.
They wasn't in our bedroom.
That's right. And then what
And
did
they
she
said you
also
wasn't in there
say?
neither, but
Exactly. So that's number
you
one.
wasn't in that bed.
And number two, it is alleged that she said they came to me with politics and my husband wasn't even in the grave yet. They came to me 24, 36
You don't
hours.
think that that's true?
Well,
She just said a lot of things
Somebody did.
that you can question that happened.
well, let's say they have the receipts to show we came to her.
So maybe
at
some
a
people
later
came.
time.
Maybe it wasn't
Those
y'all.
people.
It wasn't.
But
let's.
no.
Elijah Cummings
Wait
been
a
alive a
minute.
long time.
Wait a
The only
minute.
people he know ain't them niggas.
We were talking about specific people. She pointed
Yeah.
to some specific people
Okay.
and said, you over there, you came to me.
And he probably did.
And they said, I have the receipts to say it was no such thing. I went to her pastor. I asked him to talk with
But
her
that's still
when it
coming
was
to me because you know the
But-
pastor came to her and said something.
But do you
He said,
point,
"Can
do I point
Can
to
I have
you?
my tithes? And I gotta tell you something. Somebody came to me.
And did she
I'll tell you
agree
after you
to a
retire."
time? And did she not show up for that time?
Allegedly. I don't know.
Allegedly.
I wasn't with her. I don't
But
know
all
which.
of these
I'm not.
types of
I don't work with her,
conversations
but
are
I'm
gonna
just
come
saying.
out. I'm just saying.
So that's the bigger
are things
problem.
to
But
be
that's the bigger
discussed,
problem.
yes.
How did Martin O'Malley get in office? Something like this. I mean, it wasn't like widow elder.
Hey,
I'm just saying, but it's
Gutto Butt
conflict.
says he's gonna run now, so
Huh?
we'll see.
The word on the street.
The word on the
Yep.
street was
Where
not on.
conflict, you have conflicts, you have confusion, and then he could just run up the middle, or somebody that he deems run up the middle worthy, but it probably would be him.
Right.
That would be good or bad.
What?
I mean, he's not 71. He's not fresh off of double mastectomy. So you like O'Malley?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah. Dad, you like O'Malley?
I think that he could muddy the waters up. That's for sure. Yeah, that's not my favorite candidate.
That was a confusing answer. I think he said he can cause confusion. Do you like him though?
He's not the candidate I would vote for.
Okay. So he's not gonna say I don't like him, but he said, but I wouldn't vote for him. I got you. That's good enough. Okay, so now we got Jill Carter.
Yes.
Do we like Jill Carter for this? Is this her seat? Is her seat to win?
We like her. It's anybody's seat to win.
Right. I mean, we know these people.
I like her.
Yeah.
We know these people. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what about Branch?
I don't know Branch though.
Well, I mean, he has the same thing that, other than the fact that Kwesi's actually been in this seat, he does have a long history, as does Jill.
And Kwesi said too,
with experience. So
Yeah.
they all have that.
But
Y'all act like experience is to the detriment. I
great
thought
thing.
experience is supposed to be good.
It is.
I think it's a great thing. I was
mean,
just
he's got
saying
the
that's what they all have in
Yeah.
common. They have
I mean,
experience.
out of all of them so far, I like Kwesi for the seat. You know?
Okay.
I think that he also
Michael told me the same thing.
Who is Michael?
Informe. I like Kwesi for the seat. Never mind. Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Tough crowd. Real quick, can I share something with you real quick?
Yes, sir.
And then we got to wrap. I had a conversation. So I came in the announcement, Kwesi Informe announcement,
Yes.
fashionably late because they said it was going to be 12 o'clock. And I said, I know how this goes. Came in at 12:30. He didn't come out till 1, right? No problem. So when I got in there, the first person I see is one of his sons, Michael Informe, right? See him. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? And so I'm at the media spray, all the cameras lined up, and he was in the back talking to Sheila Dixon, right? So I walked over, shook hands with him, said hello, Madam Mayor, and she took that as I also had a microphone and camera in my hand, and she did not take that as endorsement. She took that as her exit point. So she went and started talking to somebody else. So now I'm talking to Michael Fumek. And sometimes I forget when to switch on, just regular homeboy talk and journalist talk.
Yeah.
So I was speaking to him like I would have any of the other journalists there, but I wasn't speaking to him as this is the son of the candidate, right? So he said, what's going on with you, family talk, blah, 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 that kind of thing. And then, so now it's that awkward moment after you get past small talk. It's just kind of like, where you would say, how about those Ravens? Or you would say something like that. So I'm like, oh yeah, a lot of people came out, that kind of thing. And so he said, so what do you think? What are the chances, right? And so I said, well, I mean, this is no surprise. I kind of saw this telegraphed after I watched his speech at the funeral. Then when I saw his face after I said it, I was like, dang, maybe I shouldn't have said that, right? I said it was obvious that this was going to happen. I felt that he was offended by that statement.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Well, you should have seen his face.
I thought you were going to say something from chicken or something.
No, so I said that I said that it was no surprise that he was running. No, I saw the writing on the wall when I heard his speech at the at the funeral. And I thought that he was taken back by judging by his face and how quickly he wrapped up the conversation and moved on. And so sometimes I have the tendency of doing it. Yeah. That comes from you. Right. Mom doesn't do that. That comes from you. Right. Then later, Dad be like, that was offensive. Maybe I should have said that.
I thought the same thing.
At the funeral?
No, I mean, when he passed, I thought, that...
You thought Kwesi was going to come up? I didn't. Yeah. Not until I saw him at the funeral. When they did the rollout, I didn't even know. I knew that President Obama was a speaker. Hillary was a speaker. I didn't know Kwesi was going to be a speaker. So when he came out, I was like, oh, what? They bring all the opening acts out.
Right, because that was the predecessor. And he had it for, what, 10 years? Maybe not 10, maybe about 7 years. Okay. 10 years. Okay. So
I was surprised. Yeah. And then so we're gonna have more time to talk about this because it's gonna get messier and dirtier But I just feel in closing that as a friend of Congressman Cummings, right, a past friend, his homeboys and his partners cannot insinuate or blatantly call his widow a liar without putting dirt on themselves.
What's the response if she throws dirt?
You shouldn't put yourself in a situation as his friend to be in opposition publicly of her.
Then don't run.
That's what I'm saying.
But if you run,
All
then
bets
you run
are
to
off.
win. Yes.
I got you. That's fair. That's fair.
Politics is dirty.
That's fair. Well, they have it. Thank you.
Trump.
Thank you, Dad. It is dirty. Thank you, Dad.
Yes.
And thank you, Mom.
Yes.
Thank you for going to Mondawmin and working there. Thank you for meeting at Mondawmin. And Mom, thank you for not running when Dad came towards you. 'Cause I'm sure he had a big afro. You know, who is this guy? Right? All right. But of course, we're going to be back next week. You can always check out our show on demand, RadioOnFire.com. Up next, you think I've been talking crazy, okay? I know with the week that we've had, Brother Muhammad is going to be talking really crazy about some of these events. So State of the City is coming up next. Thank you again, Mom, Dad.
Yes.
See you guys next week.
Okay.